What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This is Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Yeah, it's man, we were just talking before we got on the air. Gosh, this weekend is jam-packed. It's going to be amazing. So, yeah, very, very happy to be here. I love the background picture. It's when Tenfold won the Jim Dandy. And what's funny about it is future Breeders' Cup Classic winner Vina Rosso, also pictured in this race, was third in the Jim Dandy to Tenfold. So that shows you how much things can change just in 1 year.
That did, yeah. Let's see if I can get that on the screen so people can see without taking us out. But yeah, it's amazing that this is. You look at this is obviously the Jim Dandy would have been what year would that have been? Like 2000.
Oh gosh, I was standing on the rails, 18, maybe 17.
How old is Tenfold?
The years really start to blend together on me the more we go. I used to be able to just pop those years off just like that. That would be 2018, that Jim Dandy. And then, of course, 2019 Classic winner, Vina Rosso, who was third to here you go. Vina Rosso's the 5 horse. Right,
he's all the way to the outside. And then, of course, like the 2 horse was Tenfold. Of course, you remember this race where Tenfold like darted out in the middle of the track.
Yep.
At the end of the race, and like I almost used that picture actually because there's a picture where he's like way in the middle of the track.
Not only do I remember it, I was standing right on the rail at the winner's circle with a couple guys that worked for Todd Pletcher, and actually one of them had walked Vina Rosso up to the gate, not to the gate, to the paddock, and I had bet on Tenfold, and Tenfold ran right at us. I mean, was looking us dead in the eye, running right at us. Of course, Ricardo ends up correcting them, straightens him out kind of just in time to get the win. It was one of the worst Jim Dandies I've ever watched, but and obviously for Tenfold to win it. And it's crazy that I bet Tenfold that day, and he's turned out to be so bad. Sometimes you're wrong about something, but you're right. So at that one spot in time, he's not a good horse. He never was a good horse, but he did win that race. So there's that.
Well, hey, there's plenty of times where you've bet a horse to win a race, not because they're going to be good, for a while. It's just they're just going to win that race. So, but yeah, to be honest, like Tenfold obviously had the hopes, and you kind of thought he might be. At that point, you probably didn't think Vina Rosso was going to be the Breeders' Cup Classic winner a year later or whatever it was. So it is funny how, and then these Pletchers, man, they sometimes. With those like Vino, like they are, you never know. You might get a really good 3-year-old, but a lot of times they'll blossom, at the right time. And we're going to talk about some Pletchers that might just do that here this weekend. Yeah, it's a huge weekend. I mean, like Bell's the One ran yesterday. You had obviously Saratoga ran again today. You have tomorrow. You've got the Curlin. Friday being tomorrow for us as the Curlin. Then you got the Jim Dandy on the weekend, of course, Saratoga. Big racing. Vanderbilt is on the schedule there on Saturday's card. Of course, the Bing Crosby out in Del Mar, which is Breeders' Cup winner in for the sprint. Sunday, you got Breeders' Cup winner in Del Mar for the distaff. And of course, the Amsterdam is insanely good. Back at the Saratoga on Sunday with Jackie's Warrior and Drain the Clock rematch. So, I mean, it really has, like you and I were talking before the show, it's like, there's 3 or 4 potential Breeders' Cup winners, running this weekend.
Yeah, the sprint division has been really quiet for a while now, but to have the Bing Crosby and the Vanderbilt, you got the best sprinters in the country. And by the way, like you said, the Amsterdam might have one of the best, or 2, I guess, sprinters in the country as well. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I mean, business picks up, right? The big horse Essential Quality's back. We'll talk about that. Last week was kind of a little bit of a lull as far as getting hyped up for it. Now it ended up being unbelievable. The Coaching Club American Oaks was fantastic. One of the most entertaining races of the year so far. And it only had 4 horses in it, but it still was entertaining. But you didn't have that buildup. This week, we got a lot of buildup to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, let's obviously we got a big show here. Let's touch on that a little bit because some people might say, well, how is it that good? It was a short field. The favorite lost. How can the TCA Oaks be that great a race? All things considered being a short field. enlighten us. Why was it so good?
Well, yeah, we talked about a lot on the recap show, Saratoga recap show on Tuesday. It basically was a situation that reminded us all a lot of when American Pharoah lost the Travers at Saratoga. At that time, when Pharoah lost the Travers, of course, by the name of Frosted, who many of us remember, just unexplainably pushed Pharoah early. Horse that likes to do his best running from off the pace, pushes Pharoah early, softens him up, and then Keen Ice just kind of watches it all unfolds. It goes right by. Same thing happened. Clairiere, a horse we've seen many times that runs from off the pace. All of a sudden, Irad Ortiz says, you know what? I can't beat Malathot if I just let her go. I'm going to pressure her. Malathot takes the pressure, turns her away. Oh, there's good old Ricky Ricardo Santana. He's just sitting right there in the catbird seat. He says, I'll let these two fools go out there. I'll just keep my horse Maracuja right behind him. Goes right by Malathot there at the end. It was a fascinating race. It's one of those races, if you know what you're watching, Malathot probably ran better in that race than any of the races she's won because she showed I can take pressure. I can fend off pressure. She showed a ton of heart in this race. This is not her preferred running style, being on the lead like that. So she was out of her comfort zone. She ran very, very well in defeat, but Santana and Maracuja, you give them all the credit in the world, man. They smartly just stayed out of that thing and then went and got her late.
Yeah, it was one of those that even though we all kind of thought Malathot was an easy single, and I'm sure knocked out a lot of people there, including us, it's just like you kind of just sit there and like, wow, I mean, what more do you want out of a race? That was unbelievable. And it's so funny because I text you and I was like, dude, that reminded me of AP Travers. You're like, yeah, you should look at our Twitter because you're like, you were tweeting out about it and it was like blowing up. And I was like, oh yeah, exactly. But it was in a sense too, like with Pharoah, you watch this battle down the stretch, and as soon as you knew, okay, he's putting Frosted away, almost the same second you realize,
yep,
like, he's not like there's here. Who is that? He's not going to hold that horse off. And the exact same thing happened here. Malathot, Clairiere, it was a battle. Then you're like, okay, Malathot's got it, and you're like, like this horse has got weight. And so it was just one of those instances where just two really good horses, took it to each other. Well, Clairiere's, and that's the other thing is you don't have there's no fault in the decision of it was a short field. You had to think that your decision to go. We all said it. We said it before on the podcast. Like Malathot needs to go. You can't expect that to happen with Clairiere, and it's just one of those things with short fields. Weird things can happen, and you kind of made mention of this a few times to me after the fact. It's like you wonder if this was let's say you go to the Alabama, but a bigger field if this even happens, because now all of a sudden you have that pace in there to kind of help dictate the race than Malathot could sit off of.
Yeah, it's it. The short field got her beat more than anything else. She could have just sat back, ran her normal race, had a couple speed horses out there to kind of be a target, and that's that. But instead, like you said, I mean, we talked about it on the show last week before the race. Malathot had the most speed in the race. So, and she drew the rails. So it's like, yeah, he's probably just going to fall out on the lead. What we didn't expect is that we're just going to take shots at her. And kind of to Mark's point, it was a little bit like, I think they really ganged up on Smarty Jones a little more even than Malathot. But the point is accurate. They took their shots. They said, we're going to work as a team and we're going to beat her ass. And they did. And I think the other thing that maybe factors into it, she still maybe could have won, but it was a little bit of a layoff. And maybe, I'm not saying that the layoff cost her so much, but maybe she just wasn't quite ready for that kind of challenge. Like if she gets her normal setup, normal race, she wins. And we're not saying that, but she really got tested. And she may have just not had that foundation, just miss just a little bit. And that's what got her beat. Because we're talking about a narrow margin. This was not a 3-length win. This was very close. She still had a shot, 20 yards from the wire. She battled back again, but just could not hold off Maracuja.
Yeah, like I say, you look at that race, you say, okay, that was amazing. She lost. I'll bet her back next time. I mean, really, she lost. It's one of those, we always talk about those fields where you're like, well, she has nothing to gain and everything to lose. Well, in that instance, she lost nothing in defeat. You're like, well, that was just an amazing effort. She threw it down. They went fast. So yeah, it was a hell of an effort. And, her ace puts her in a really good category, not the all-time greats category. Yeah, I mean, that's probably fair. I think she's really good. And I think, we had talked about Ricky. I know I'm sure you listened last week, but we're like, if she rolls here, maybe they go to the Travers, unlikely, but maybe. But you're like, no, that's not. I mean, that she's not that kind of category to where she's going to go to the Travers off of that. No doubt.
She's not Rachel, Songbird, that category. She's not there. Yeah, and I think Ricky put it well. I think that proves it. Yes, I know we're saying she ran very well in the feet, but still, you got beat by Maracuja. Come on. I mean, so, but yeah, Alabama gonna be different for sure, and I think she'll be the favorite. And when the time comes, we can make that decision, but she'll be a deserving favorite in that race.
All right, what's the best thing you saw today?
Listen, I'm going to stick with the horse racing theme, the Saratoga theme. Today at Saratoga, it was pouring down rain. It was awful. I don't even care. I just am so glad to have it back to normal. Just be able to watch it. Like yesterday, we had a grade 2 race run on a Wednesday. I mean, that's what makes Saratoga so awesome. So just having it back and being able to watch it every day, that will probably continue to be the best thing I've seen,
until September.
For another 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, until the end of the meet, then you'll have something. You'll have football to look forward to.
Right.
I'll go with the news that we just heard a little bit ago with our boy Russell Westbrook being a Laker now, and you and I being OKC fans. He's the one guy that he stuck with the Thunder for a while, and of course when he left, you kind of like, well, I get it, and so maybe the Lakers can be, we can root for the Lakers while OKC builds back up. To be, obviously they got like 1,000 draft picks in the next couple of years, so they're in the rebuilding stage. But I would just, I think Russ deserves a ring, and it's kind of cool to see him end up with the Lakers. I know a lot of people don't like LeBron, but I'll be rooting for him.
Well, I'll say this: I'm glad that he's going to have people around him, and now there's no excuse. You go out and you win your championship, or be very, very good next year, or what they say about you might be true. I personally, here's the deal. If you've watched Russ day in and day out, you know that what kind of the national scene says about him is not really true. Russ definitely seems like a prick from the outside looking in. There's no doubt about it. He seems like an asshole for sure. But when you watch him play 82 games a year, like we did for many years, he brings it every night. He plays hard every night. Is he a perfect point guard? Nope, he's not. But he's a very talented player. So there's no excuse now. You got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis. You got to go win now. Yeah,
there's literally. I mean, if they can do it with Schroeder, they can do it with him. So yeah. I think, like you say, he's obviously he's got to be tailing off his career a little bit at some point. So it's like, this is probably it. This is his chance to go win one, and he deserves one. So let's see if he can get it done. But seeing that news, he could have ended up at a lot of different teams that I maybe would have not been so thrilled about. But I think the Lakers makes a lot of sense, and obviously they needed a guy like him. So I thought CP might go there. I guess, yeah, that was the other one. I was hoping that maybe went there because obviously another, not really a Thunder like Russ was, but a guy that we rooted for.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be cool to see him get one too, because it would kind of suck to not see him get a ring this year. But no, I'd love to see Russ do it. So glad that he's a Laker now. Congratulations to our boy Russell Westbrook. All right, today's show we're gonna preview the $600,000 Jim Dandy Stakes Saratoga. Then we're going to give rapid fire selections for the remaining stakes action this weekend at Saratoga and Del Mar, including the $300K Bing Crosby Stakes at Del Mar. Breeders' Cup winning in for the sprint. Let's go.
I think something that a lot of people probably don't realize, Chris, the reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder are in Oklahoma City, one of the big reasons is Chris Paul. Because what happened when the hurricane hit New Orleans had to relocate to Oklahoma City, and Chris Paul was a young point guard playing on the Oklahoma City Hornets for 2 years, and they were tremendously fun to watch. And Oklahoma City sold out the games for 2 straight years. So if they don't have Chris Paul and a decent team, that may not have happened,
That is crazy.
Yep, little history lesson there. And I can remember I went down and watched him play Kobe Bryant in the Lakers one year. I've somewhere deep in my closet, I've got an Oklahoma City Hornets shirt somewhere.
Dude, you got to find that.
I bet I could find it if you gave me 5 minutes. But listen, we're talking about racing now. So.
Yeah, that's true. You can do it later, maybe. But if you do find it, you should post it on. Wear it. Well, actually, you should wear it. If you use it a shirt.
Yeah, it's a shirt. I'll wear it on the Rocket Hour tomorrow.
Yeah, you gotta wear it, dude. That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah, Josh saw him play Wake. Yeah, he's always been really fun to watch. I watched him play the Heat after the Heat had won the title, but Shaq didn't play. D Wade played. Yeah. And when I say Heat won the title, we're not talking about LeBron's. We're talking about when D Wade and Shaq won a title in Miami. Yeah. I guess when he was at Wake, I would have been, 15, 20? I don't know, 15 probably. I don't think I was 10.
Anyway. Yeah, you're not that young. You're a lot older than that. So,
yeah, I know.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some Jim Dandy. It's should be rather straightforward, but hey, we just talked about Malthot losing, so you never know, I guess. Yeah. And then we got a lot of rapid fire to get to. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, Saturday at Saratoga, race 9, the Jim Dandy Stakes, grade 2, a $600K for 3-year-olds, 1 1/8 miles. Field of 6 lines up for this one. But we got a heavy favorite here, number 5, your Belmont Stakes winner, coming back from that race, Essential Quality. Your champion, your 2-year-old champion, probably your 3-year-old champion. He's 1-2 going into this race. It's an interesting race because you got like Mass Parade, Wayburn, Keep Me in Mind, but it just seems like all those horses are going to be running for second. Essential Quality. This is obviously prep for the Travers. I don't think he can be beat. Do you?
No, here we go again. We had Malthot last week, and we were on the show. Oh, they can't beat her, and then they beat her. And so that storyline of the graveyard of favorites or the graveyard of champions of Saratoga, it lives on, and it hangs in the balance here. No question about it. I think it's going to be on the back of a lot of people's minds. Okay, so you kind of think, okay, what got Malthot beat? Well, running style wasn't exactly what she wanted to do. It looks like Essential Quality, who has a similar running style as Malthot, but it looks like Essential Quality does kind of have those targets out in front. You're not going to see Essential Quality having to set the pace in this race, right? I think Wayburn is going to go. Mass Parade will go early. Dr. Jack moving up in class, but does have early speed. I think Essential Quality sits kind of that second and third spot. And then you look and you say, okay, well, how do you beat him here? I think you're going to have to try to sneak away from him. But then in the back of your mind, you got to think Hot Rod Charlie kind of snuck away from him in the Belmont, and he still caught him. Is there a Hot Rod Charlie in this race? No.
No.
So if the target's Wayburn and Mass Parade, I think Essential Quality gets it done. I'm not going to try to beat him, and I'll go as far as say I am going to single Essential Quality here. This is a very difficult sequence. I'm not going to try to overanalyze it. I think Essential Quality gets it done.
Yeah, Mark says the same thing. It's like not only that, like he has their speed and he draws outside of the speed. So he's just going to sit the catbird seat the whole way around. Yeah, he's got obviously a very smart jockey, Luis Saez, who's ridden him pretty much his entire career. The horse has only lost once. That was in the Kentucky Derby, and really, you can make up excuses there, But to me, whenever you see how Hot Rod came back in the Haskell, and he won the Haskell, he just got DQ'd from the Haskell, but he won, and obviously was very, very good. And Essential Quality beat him. He ran him down, and it's just, to me, Essential Quality. It's like I feel like we're losing sight a little bit of how Essential Quality, how good he was. You know what I mean? Because everyone talks about Hot Rod, how amazing he was in the Belmont, how he ran too good to lose, myself included. But you forget a horse won, right? A horse beat him, and that was Essential Quality. So to me, he's easily the one to beat here. And I just don't. Like if I was going to pick a horse, it'd be Keep Me in Mind to beat him. And do I really want to pick Keep Me in Mind to beat Essential Quality? No thanks. I'll pass.
if you had any doubt, you're like, oh, no, I'm not sold on that Belmont. You made a really good point. Well, Hot Rod Charlie came back, and whatever happened. But what you can't deny is the horse. He ran a tremendous race in the Haskell, so he backs up that, and it's just a situation. Essential Quality shows up, runs his race, it's over. And by the way, the pictures of this horse, like in the paddock and in the barn, he looks like he's thriving at Saratoga. He doesn't look like he skipped any meals. This horse looks like a Hulk out there. So I'm expecting big things from him. I think he's going to run really well. You mentioned Keep Me in Mind. So here's something interesting. Ricky said today, we were talking about Rosario, and he said the perfect horse for Rosario would have been Zenyatta because he's just so good on closers, right? Well, guess what? He kind of has Keep Me in Mind, who's definitely not Zenyatta, but has that running style. Okay, David Cohen, nothing wrong with him. I'm not going to sit here and bash David Cohen, but Rosario on Keep Me in Mind, he might move him up. Now, can he move him up to be at Essential Quality? No. But will the jock difference maybe make that horse a little better? I don't know. He's interesting. At least it's something new. They're trying something new.
I mean, if there's one thing, if there's one knock on Rosario, it's that he likes to get his horses too far back and too much to do. Well, guess what? Keep Me in Mind will do that for you. So you don't worry about that. He'll be back way in the back. You don't have to do shit, Rosario. But he's going to pump him. He's going to pump his ass down the lane, and maybe he gets there enough. And if Essential Quality, here's the thing: Keep Me in Mind's never sniffed 100. I guess he did run a 97 buyer in the Ohio Derby, but he lost. Yeah. Essential Quality, basically, eats piece of shit like him for breakfast every morning. Keep Me in Mind. I mean, he runs 97 buyers in his sleep. So to me, it's going to take a big time fall for Essential Quality to get beat here by Keep Me in Mind. But, maybe the bell curve Rosario will get it done for him.
So you got to look at it kind of like this, right? We're kind of laughing at the thought that Keep Me in Mind can win. Mask Parade is who a lot of people are going to back here. He beat Keep Me in Mind by a half length last time out.
Yep.
Mask Parade's at the now horse, blowout win, Ohio Derby. We're excited about him. He's the new one. He beat Keep Me in Mind by a half length last time out. This is a whole new ball game now for Mask Parade. And he very well could finish second in this race because I think Keep Me in Mind could finish second in this race. But they're not at Essential Quality's level. They're just not. I mean, you could even take last week and say Clairiere, has been running against the best ones. Only lost by 3 lengths in the Oaks. Maybe, she doesn't have to improve a ton. They got to improve a ton here to beat Essential Quality.
Essential Quality, Shooter McGavin, Keep Me in Mind is Lafferty Daniel. We were, oh man, that's I gotta watch that movie again. That and Billy Madison, man, those are just two classic movies that I've never, I haven't seen in like forever. It feels like so.
Yeah.
But no, Essential Quality to me, he's obviously with Malathot, obviously both coming in this race off stuff with being an Oaks winner and the Belmont Stakes winner. But to me, Essential Quality is obviously very much more proven than Malathot. Essential Quality to me just seems like the easy choice here. And I'm not going to try to get too cute. I think you can get cute in some of the other legs, but not this one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, and I think we'll talk about some other ones where you might see an upset. I just don't think it's going to happen here in this comment. It's funny. I'm jinxing the horse. Thanks. Thank you for the stall connections. Go Mask. I've picked Mask Parade the last 2 races. I was very high on him in the Ohio Derby. I don't have any problem with him. It's a big jump. I don't care if you own the horse, train the horse, ride the horse, biggest fan ever of the horse. It's a big jump. He's going to have to run a race we haven't seen from him. So I don't have any problem with Mask Parade. I really like him, but it's going to be tough for this horse to beat Essential Quality. I mean, it's just going to be really tough to get the job done here.
If Essential Quality, goes to his knees in the stretch or something, then I guess Mask Parade could probably win.
If he has trouble or if he just doesn't show up, Mask Parade is the one to beat. There's no doubt.
But, to that point, we made a comment about Hot Rod Charlie before the Haskell about, do you believe, do you trust him enough? You're like, well, you trust him. And the same, like, Essential Quality, he runs his race every time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's never not ran his race. Even the Kentucky Derby where he lost, he ran a great race. He hung, but he ran his second best race, number wise of his career. So, you're going to get an effort from him. So you got to feel like if one of these other horses, if you're going to go another way and try to beat him, you got to know that, or you got to think, well, they're going to have to run. It's not going to be a matter of Essential Quality not showing up. It's going to be a matter this horse runs huge, and I just don't see it. Yeah,
no, I don't either. And for the Mass Parade, fan in here. The other kind of scary thing, even if it is the graveyard of favorites or champions, however you want to call it, usually it's not the second choice that wins. It's like the third choice or the fourth choice one. Even if you would have played against, you couldn't have had it. Like last week, you want to play Clairiere and then Maracuja wins. It's like, oh my gosh. So you want to play Frosted to beat American Pharoah, but Keen Ice wins. So we'll see. I love it. I love that Saratoga has that mystique, and it definitely gets people fired up for the race, and it puts you on pins and needles. So that's kind of the cool thing about it.
Yep, I can't wait. It's always good to see the champ back. He is the champ. He's at until proven otherwise. Number 5, Essential Quality. We're both on him in the Jim Dandy.
This question, I thought, we don't need it for the pod, but for the show here. Crappy field make you think the Travers is going to be EQ and crap too? I don't think so. I think the Travers will draw a better field.
The Jim Dandy always is a little bit like this, It's never like you might have one or two good horses, but you're not going to have like the Travers. I mean, it's the Travers is a Travers. They'll bring it.
Yeah. Hey, check this out. He walks a big boy every day. He's a hot walker. I love it. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, like I said, we're rooting.
Hey, for you, if he gets beat by, I'll hope it's your horse. How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the show, buddy.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. If he gets beat, let's hope it's by the big boy there. All right.
There they go. He says Essential looks amazing. Walk past the barn. Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier. I've just seen pictures on Twitter since he's arrived at Saratoga, and it's like, holy hell, he looks good. So
did you see that? Actually, I think we retweeted, or maybe you or Magic or someone retweeted it out about him. That he was crossing the street there.
Yeah,
and obviously they have traffic stop for him, but even the traffic guy is taking a picture. And it's like that's Saratoga in a nutshell, right there. Like
the Belmont Stakes winner is crossing the busiest road in the town to get to the track. I mean, that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yep, it's amazing, and no one cares. Like they're gonna sit there and watch because it's the freaking Belmont winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just amazing. Love Saratoga.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna do the Curlin on Friday, which is always that's still such an odd race that you have the exact same conditions. Going longer, because isn't the Jim Dandy's a mile? Is it a mile and 16th?
Nope, both a mile and 8.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like hilarious that they're both.
Yep.
They're both the same distance, same conditions. It's like it makes no sense, but okay. Yep. Let's do the Jim. Let's do the Curlin, and then we got Saturday racing and Sunday racing as well. So, let's see here. 3, 2, 1. Time for Rapid Fire, presented by the Inside Track to the Whitney Stakes Wagering Guide. Available soon at racingdudes.com on the products page. Your boys, we will be at the Whitney. And of course, we'll have a guide. Are we going to do, I was going to ask you, I'll just ask you on air, right? We might as well put you on the spot. Are we going to do a live bankroll for this since we are at the track?
I think we usually with this something we started new. I think the Travers is what we were planning. I don't think we're going to do a live bankroll for this one.
Okay, I just don't want to get the people too excited if we're doing one or not. But okay, we'll be at the Whitney. Obviously, a Wagering Guide available. The card is unbelievable. The Whitney is unbelievable. Of course, look for racingdudes.com. If you are a subscriber, you can get those Wagering Guides absolutely for free. And of course, like Halterman said, last week was kind of like, okay, now we're into it. August, September of the guides are going to be coming out left and right. Of course, the Travers coming up very soon as well. So you're going to make sure you get your hands on these guides, racingdudes.com, on the products page. Look for that pre-sale to begin early next week. All right, let's go a day earlier to the race it's the same race. It's the Curlin Stakes, race 9 on Friday at Saratoga, worth $120,000 for 3-year-olds, which have not won a graded over a mile in 2021, going 1 1/8 miles. Field of 7 lines up for this one. 7-5, another heavy favorite. The 4-horse First Captain for Shug in here. What do you think?
Yeah, this is this race I think is better overall. I mean, when you get away from essential quality, forget about him, but if not better, about equal to what we're going to see of the horses in the Jim Dandy. This is a very sharp race here. A lot of horses that have a lot of potential, or maybe have kind of disappointed, but their trainers quite haven't given up on them yet. Looking at you, number 6, Calibrate. I went with First Captain on top, but I did it kind of begrudgingly. I've talked to several people kind of getting their opinions about it. First Captain, I think the stretch out is going to help him. I think he's going to look even better stretching out a distance. He's looked very sharp in 3 wins. This is not a race I'm going to go short in, though. I really believe like the number 2 Snowhouse is going to like to stretch out in distance. I kind of like Chad Brown's horse, number 1, Miles D, stretching out in distance. Couldn't play him on top just because Brown is struggling on the dirt right now. Dynamic 1 came out of the Kentucky Derby last time out. You draw a line through that race. His resume looks pretty good. Collaborate. I mean, Saffie Joseph still believes this horse is really good. Harvard is coming up from Churchill. They've been running well. I mean, I think it's a much tougher race than what I thought it would be when I came up on first glance and thought, well, First Captain's going to be tough here. I think it's going to be tough, but I did go with him on top. I just think he is the most likely winner. But as far as pick 3s, pick 4s, I'll be spreading in this race and trying to find a single elsewhere.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, this race it's going to be a fun race to watch in terms of kind of horses that obviously, so much like the Jim Dandy, are going to be hopefully pointing to the Travers from this. And to me, if you're going to try, First Captain is the one to beat. There's no doubt about it. This horse hasn't lost. It's looked very good. And the buyers, I mean, very consistent buyers. Stretching out from a mile to a mile and 1/8, it might help. You might be right. It's obviously a Curlin horse, so you got to think it would help. But I think if you're going to beat him, this would probably be the time to try to beat him, because you just don't know what he is going to do stretching out. So to me, I'm taking a shot against on the top end. And really, there's so much speed in here. Snowhouse likes to be early place. Harvard obviously likes to be very early place. Even First Captain likes to be very close. Collaborate, your buddy, he likes to be forwardly placed. I'm going to be honest, like you talk about begrudgingly make a pick. Dynamic 1 just seems like it might kind of like be picking up the pieces late. He gets Irad back, which is obviously a good sign that Irad's coming back to ride for Pletcher here after riding this horse 3 straight efforts to kick off his career. Hey, listen, you're going to have to get 4-1 at least on him. And I can't play him for less than that, but it does seem like he's going to keep coming late. And if he can get, if the pace melts down, I mean, it's not like the horse is just absolutely awful. You scratch out the Kentucky Derby, like you say, he probably fits here. So I'll take Dynamic 1, but you have to demand a price on him.
I'm really excited for this race. I hope the track is decent by the time this race goes off. Oh, Steve! I haven't heard from Steve in forever. He says, "Go, give me Dynamic 1."
There you go. I thought you were dead, Steve.
Dennis says over under 2.5 horses from the Curlin go to the Travers.
I'll say under.
The winner will certainly go. Saffie says he really wants to run. I'll say under, because you're right. I have a feeling it's gonna be a situation. A couple of them kind of separate themselves here.
Kind of feels like you're going to get, like, obviously the winner, and then, like you say, like Collaborate or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Collaborate I would like to see him win, just because I thought he was going to be really good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick Saffie a few different times. Well, maybe one other time in the weekend, so don't worry. Speaking of, let's go to Saturday.
Me too. That was fun. That was the last time you were there, Steve. 2019. All right, Saturday.
Let's go to the Vanderbilt. It's a fun race. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's move to Saturday at Saratoga, the race 8 Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. Grade 1 with 350K going 6 furlongs. It's not a Breeders' Cup when you're in for the sprint, but it does have the Breeders' Cup sprint winner making his return to the track, number 6, Whitmore, at 4-1, 3-1 for Inspire, 2-1 on Mischievous Alex, 9-2 on the outside on Special Reserve. It's a 9-horse field. There's a bunch in here you feel like that could have a shot to win this thing. I think it's going to be a hell of a fun race. It always is. Who do you like?
It came down to 2 horses for me, and I ended up going Mischievous Alex on top. I just think those races at 6 and 7 furlongs that he had a little bit earlier in the year are just a little bit better than what anybody else can do here. But I don't think, again, this is not a race I'm going to go short in. I think you can go deep with a few other horses. Unfortunately, I don't love a lot of like the big prices. My second choice and the other horse, and I'm telling you, I almost pulled the trigger on the 9 Special Reserve. This horse is hot coming in the race. Won 2 in a row. Last time out, I know it was just Iowa. I know it was just the Iowa Sprint. That horse could have beat about anybody that day. He ran very, very well. And so I kind of think this horse is just coming in at the right time. Got a lot of early speed, kind of the one that I believe that Mischievous Alex and Whitmore will have to run down. So speaking of Whitmore, I like the freshening. I think he's going to run big here. I just can't put him on top, but I think he's in the mix.
I think he's tough, right? Because he's ran really 3. I mean, he's ran 3 races this year since winning the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and he really ran 3 winning races in all of them. You know, he ran his ass off, you know, in the Hot Springs. CZ Rocket, of course, CZ Rocket we'll talk about here in a little bit. The Bing Crosby. It's been fun to see them face again here this weekend, but maybe we'll wait for that. Count Fleet, he ran another winning race. CZ Rocket was just running too good. And then, you know, you and I both picked him. We had a big win bet on Whitmore that day at Churchill Downs, and I thought he was home free. And of course, he gets. I mean, it's the craziest photo finish. And Flagstaff somehow wins the race. Lexington second. Whitmore gets third. I mean, to think he got third is just unreal. But he loses by a head. So he's ran 3 winning races, and to come here, say he wins all 3 of those races, he's like 1-2 or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So he definitely deserves a shot, and he like you said, he brings it. He's Saratoga. He's going to run a big race. It's just I'm with you. I'm kind of like I just can't quite get there with him. I think Special Reserve. You said exactly what I was thinking. I almost had Special Reserve picked. I just think maybe too much speed in the race might ultimately be the downfall of the 9, whereas I like Mischievous Alex has speed, but also with IRAD back aboard can kind of sit off of that a little bit, and IRAD's been very good at that with this horse. Obviously, like you said, running these kind of sprints with him, he's been so good. So I'm on number 2, Mischievous Alex. I think he sets the trip, and I think he's the best horse in the race. Yeah, you got so much speed in here with like Friends Fire and Strike Power, and of course the 9. Like I think it's going to set if Whitmore's going to win like that, it's setting up for him, no doubt.
Yep. I totally agree. I think he has a better chance here than he did in that race at Churchill, just because I think he runs better at his age off little breaks like this. So, but you know, there's no CZ Rocket here, so.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. 2 races later, right after the Jim Dandy on Saturday at Saratoga, race 10, the Bowling Green Stakes, grade 2 with 250K for 4-year-olds and up. Going 1 3/8 miles on the turf. A field of 8 lines up for this one, and it's another doozy here. This is going to be a fun-ass race. You got 5-2 on Channel Maker, 7-2 on Moon Over Miami, 5-1 on Channel Cat Cross Borders, 9-2, Rock Emperor, 6-1. 8-1 on Shamrocket. I mean, really look at this race. Breakpoint, who's kind of an interesting second-time starter for Chad Brown. 10-1. I mean, you look at this race, and I mean, even Red Knight doesn't look awful at 12-1. All 8 horses, I think, legit have a shot to win this thing.
I totally agree. And this is bad, Jared. This is bad.
What?
I said I'd never do it again. I said I wouldn't. I said I would never do it again, Jared.
Oh no! Here we go.
Number 4, Rock Emperor.
Here we go.
Rock Emperor.
Well, see, now we're fucked because I have Rock Emperor picked. So I mean, it's over now. I mean, it's over. So you could just scratch the 4 out of the race and assume that he's going to hang and run a huge race and get second or third, because that's what's going to happen now.
So those who don't know what I'm talking about, I have chased Rock Emperor forever. And I'm telling you, some of these races, like the Manhattan in 2020, he had it. The Whittingham at Santa Anita in 2020, he had it. I mean, this horse has been so frustrating. But forget all of it. This year, went to the Fort Marcy, ran very good, third behind Tribuvan, who's a very nice horse, proven to be. Last time, or 2 races back in the Manhattan, ran really good against domestic spending, got 5th. And then I'm telling you, I thought last time out, 4 to 5, I did pick him last time out. So that's a good sign. But I just thought it was like the perfect thought of, let's get him a race. Let's get him some confidence. And he proved that he can kick away and win. He proved he's not just going to hang with other horses. Now he gets in this spot and it's like, you're better. You're the best horse. I'm confident he has more talent than these other horses. I really, truly, honestly am. I think he's going to win this one.
The price is right. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
if you can get 6-1 on him, you got to take it all day long. And I'm with you. I think that was such a smart move by Chad to kind of, after, running earlier this year, going to the Fort Marcy and gets beat. And then he goes to Manhattan, clearly domestic spending, shit all over him. But it's he get his confidence back. You get Pratt aboard that day. He runs a huge race. You knew he dominated that race. And so now and guess who's back? Rosario's back with this horse. And guess who he's not on? Channel Maker. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was a huge sign. The fact that he chose to ride Rock Emperor for Chad Brown. If you get that price, if you get the closer, Rosario, I think he's going to, to me, I like Rock Emperor. I like Sham Rocket at 8-1. And I like Channel Cat at 5-1. So, I mean, I'm playing prices here in this race. I'm going to try to beat these guys, the cross borders and the Channel Makers. So I'm going to try to beat them in Moon Over Miami. I'm going to try to beat them, and I'm going to go with you, man. Let's just okay. Can we say it for the show? Like, if he doesn't win here, can you confirm that it's over?
Listen, I've done it before.
You've said it before, and if I had the time, I could find every single part of the show whenever you said you're done with the Rock Emperor.
When he lost that race in the Manhattan, that was it, and he lost 4 in a row after that. But I was back on him last time, but it doesn't really count. When they drop down to the allowance and you pick him, that doesn't really count, because that was a huge class drop. But now I'm telling you, if I was his coach, I feel like I could give him the pregame speech to get it done. I feel like he would listen to me. He's the best horse in the race. There's no doubt in my mind. He just got to go do it. I guarantee you, he's going to make me very, very upset. But if by the small chance he wins, I'll say I knew he had it in him all along.
Just never backed off once.
Knew he had it.
If you're watching one race, you're gonna watch this one to see if how pissed Halterman can get. We're both on number 4. Let's see if Rosario can get him home. Rock Emperor. Now again, you gotta get a price on him. You know what I mean? Like which I think you will.
If he'll listen to me, he knows me. He's ran, hold on, let me count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in the United States. It has won once.
Correct. And that was a non-graded stakes, just to be clear.
Yeah.
He's ran 17 lifetime starts and won 3. So
yeah, let's see. Has he ever won? He won a $49,000 stakes. That's his stakes victory. That was at. I cannot. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that place. Whatever.
Maybe 6-1 is too low.
No, I'm telling you, he's going to do it.
Okay. You screwed it up though, if it is, because I mean, me picking him is one thing, but you pick him, that just throws everything. He's not going to want to run now. So,
and if you come back and kind of watch some of these sources, like his losses, they're just brutal too.
Oh, I know.
He had United beat fair and square, and somehow lost the race.
I know. He finds great ways to lose. Too. Yep.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go to Del Mar on Saturday for race 10, the Bing Crosby Stakes, grade 1 or $300K for 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. And guess what? This is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Sprint this fall at, of course, Del Mar. So you look at this horse, number 3, CZ Rocket, your 5-2 favorite. You look at this race, you look at this horse. Obviously, he deserves to be favorite. We talked about Whitmore earlier in the show, getting beat by CZ Rocket 2 times in a row at Oaklawn Park. They take the horse to Lone Star, oddly enough. You were there. You saw it. And he gets beat, but he gives it a mile. Now he cuts back, but now he's running without Lasix. So what's going to happen with CZ Rocket? Are you going to try to beat him?
Yeah, I think the critical thing that you said, well, there's 2 things. The first thing you said was the without LASIK thing is interesting. So Magic filled me in because I kind of, when he went to Lone Star, I was like, what in the hell is he doing? And Magic said, well, they're afraid to run him without LASIK because he's never not, had LASIK in a race. So they took him to Lone Star. I thought, okay, so now he has to run without it. I think that's a pretty bad situation for him. I think that makes him a big question mark. I wouldn't want to bet him as a short price with that question mark kind of hanging in the balance. Now, as far as that Lone Star race, don't hold that against him. 2 turns, that's the first problem with the horse. And secondly, that was just a damn mess. That track, it absolutely poured for hours before that race. So kind of draw a line through that one as far as performances, but I think the medication is kind of scary. Now, I went with number 8, Dr. Shivel to win. And I didn't think I was going to kind of coming into the race, but Flavian Pratt last year won this race on Collusion Illusion and has been riding that horse ever since. He's also been riding Dr. Shivel. He picked Dr. Shivel to ride here. Same connections too. So there's no, I had to deal with this guy, not this guy. He flat out chose him. They interviewed him on a TVG today during the Del Mar feed, telecast, whatever you want to call it. And he said, look, Collusion Illusion definitely has proven a lot more. But he said, I love how Dr. Shivel is training coming into this race. And he says, I think his ceiling is a little higher. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say it just like this, but his ceiling is a little higher, as in this horse has a little more potential than Collusion Illusion. And I think he's sitting on a big race. So all those reasons, I took a shot with the 8, Dr. Shivel. With CZ Rocket, there's no guarantee he's going to show up and not run well without LASIX, but I wouldn't put him in a situation where he has to win for you to cash. He's kind of the definition of defensive use, and it's really only because of the medication. So we'll see what happens with him, but I'm going to go on top with number 8, Dr. Shivel.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the horse I was between Dr. Shivel and, of course, CZ Rocket. Just for a lot of the reasons you said with Pratt choosing to ride there, same connections. You also got to look. I mean, the horse comes off of a long layoff, comes back and just fucking motors, runs a huge race back at Santa Anita, of course, goes to Del Mar now, but it's 2 for 2 at Del Mar. So, he likes the track. He's a player for sure. To me, there's not enough to go against CZ Rocket if you're only basing it off of the medication. I think it's a legitimate concern, and it's something if you want to play against, fine. The thing I talked to Magic too about this, and it's just like, yeah, it is interesting about the LASIX, but there's just so much speed in this race. It's insane. Like there's a lot of speed. I feel like it would set up perfectly for CZ Rocket to come and run him down. Vertical thread obviously is going to go. Quick Tempo, say the name. He's going to go. The Idiot 8 Rings, he's going to go. and then 9 Brickyard, he's going to go. So, I mean, there's a lot of horses that like the speed. And, both of the 8, to me, if you want to, I think, play the 2 horses, man. Play the 8, Dr. Scheibel, and play, and of course, CZ Rocket. I think both those horses, it's time. Even if you're afraid or not, like, it's CZ Rocket. The horse has won $1.4 million almost. The horse was, he would have won without Whitmore running so huge in the Breeders' Cup. It's time, right? If you're going to run without Lasix, the race is at Del Mar. If this is at Del Mar, you got to run them here. So it's time, CZ Rocket. That's my pick. But I think you played those 2 horses and move on.
Yeah, it's Del Mar. They've got a lot of really good races. This meet's been really good at Del Mar. I think it's been one of the better ones.
They're getting cards too, man. Like, they're filling cards.
Yep.
Yeah, 8 Rings. I hate that idiot. Yeah. Yeah, hey, but it says a lot too, Halterman, because Pratt rode him last time too, and Pratt chose not to ride him. So that should tell you everything, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That was my big angle.
He's 8 Rings, I'm sure, is a sought out horse to ride.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not probably begging anybody to ride that fucker. Okay. Let's go to Sunday.
We're going Saratoga first?
No, we'll stay at Del Mar.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's stay at Del Mar, but let's go to the next day. Sunday, race 9, the Clement L. Hirsch Stakes. This is a grade 1 worth $300K for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1/116 miles. And it is another Breeders' Cup winner event for the Distaff this fall, of course, also at Del Mar. And look at this field here. You got a field of 7 lines up. She Dares the Devil opting to run out here at Del Mar for Brad Cox. Venetian Harbor in here as well. You got As Time Goes By for the legendary Bob Baffert. Orange Showtime at the 1 horse. What do you think of this field? It's maybe not the best field going into for the Distaff when you're in, but it does offer some competitive horses in here. Venetian Harbor, She Dares the Devil. Your favorite horse, She Dares the Devil. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's an interesting field. Like I said, I don't think they're world beaters. I'm kind of jumping off She Dares the Devil this time, so I'm sure she'll win. In the Watch Moraine 2 races back, we sat right there and watched it, and she won, and we both kind of looked at each other like, not great. That was not a great performance. And then the Ogden Phipps, we were there once again, and we watched it, and we said that was absolute shit. She was awful. So I think she finds an easier spot here. No question about it, right? Got beat by Latruska. That's a very good horse. But, oh, by the way, also got beat by Bonnie South, who was nowhere in the Delaware Handicap next time out. So, come on.
He was awful.
Yeah, I debated between Venetian Harbor and As Time Goes By. I don't know. I think the distance just might get Venetian Harbor. I think she might be like, one of the more talented horses in this race, but I don't think the distance is going to work. I hate myself. I picked As Time Goes By. Hopefully she loses, but I did pick the horse to win.
It's so funny too, because I'm like, that's exactly how I handicapped the race. I was just like, I'm picking her. She's won 2 in a row. 2 back was by 10 lengths. She got beat by freaking Swiss Scott Everett in the Beholder Mile. I mean, this is obviously a pretty good horse. It's to the point where what can we do? We can either bitch about it, or they're in the race, and you got to try to pick a winner, right? So, what are you gonna do?
Like, I picked Murray. It was a handicap or maiden special weight race Sunday, I think, last Sunday. And
by the way, Murray is a horse. I mean, as of now, he can't run a horse in the Kentucky Derby, but
yeah,
Murray seems like a pretty promising prospect.
Yeah. I just, everything about it was like, oh, this is really good. And they had another horse in the race, and people, Baffert hadn't won for like 6 days, and people will always just think, well, they're done, they're dead, and they don't bet them as hard. And that's just crazy. Listen, if guys go through a little bit of cold streaks at Del Mar and Saratoga, talking about a week or 2, it doesn't mean they're no good. It's hard to win races there. So anyway, back to the thing. He won by like a pole. It was 5-2. I had been told the horse was good, and I still wanted to throw up. I bet the horse, made money on the horse, and it's like, yeah, that's not good. Just not fun. And that's how I'll feel here too.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like you say, you kind of have to until otherwise. I mean, I get like you can either try to beat. There's really no reason to try to beat her, other than just not liking Bob Baffert. And I've been there, and it just doesn't work. So you and I are both begrudgingly taking the 3 as time goes by.
Here's a question, and I
thought of that myself, Mark. I don't know.
I don't either. It's a great question. I really don't know.
I mean, obviously, you have to assume he's assuming, or he's going to try to be like, well, by the time they run, he's going to be able to run, So that's going to be, but we started seeing these guys getting, getting their horses, or him losing horses, like, Life is Good or whatever, going to different trainers. So you gotta wonder, like, if these owners, how long does it take? If they're like, listen, we want to get to the Derby, and if you're not going to be able to run there, we got to make a choice here.
Yep. That's all I
can do. By the way, did you see, I'll put it on the screen here. I think it was, let me see. Was it Saratoga Sunday? No, Saratoga Saturday. I think the race won. I think it was like, there's a horse named Life is Great.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, how good is that? Like, not Life is Good anymore. I saw it instantly. It's like, whoa, what? And then it's like, oh, yeah, Life is Great. Even better than Life is Good.
The horse is also entered tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday, if you're listening to the recorded podcast. But I don't know what day they're going to run that horse at. So we'll see. Where is that horse tomorrow? Oh, main track only entry tomorrow. And that could happen. It's rained like crazy all day today. So may see him Friday, may see him Saturday. We're going to see him one of the two. That we can guarantee.
See how great he is, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And finally, let's go to Saratoga on Sunday, race 9, the Amsterdam Stakes, grade 2 or 200K for 3-year-olds, going 6.5 furlongs on the main track there. Field of 6 lines up for this one. And look at this rematch of the Woody Stevens Drain the Clock versus Jackie's Warrior. They draw right next to each other, the 2 and the 3 horse. Obviously, this is a rematch we all want to see after the way they threw it down in the Woody Stevens. Of course, Jackie's Warrior threw it down in the Pat Day Mile. Comes to the Woody Stevens as a heavy favorite. Looks like a winner. Drain the Clock says no. We were there for it. What do you think? Who are you going with in this one?
I am going to go with Jackie's Warrior to turn the tables and kind of get revenge, so to speak. I think it helps that even though it's only a half furlong, I do think it helps that it's a little bit of a cutback. I think the shorter the better for Jackie's Warrior. I think 6 would even be better. I just think this horse likes to go as fast as he can, as far as he can, and he's super fast, so he can run those at sprint distances. He can still get out in front. A lot of times when you cut a horse back that runs like a mile and 16th, and they have to run 6 furlongs, they're not fast enough to go early. That's not the case with him. So I think that makes a little bit of a difference. I think if he gets away a little cleaner this time, he can kind of separate himself and be tough to catch. So I'm going to go Jackie's Warrior, but listen, it's going to be a good one, no doubt.
We talked about, obviously we have a lot of sprint implications this weekend across the country, mind you, at Del Mar and Saratoga, and this one's no different. Jackie's, these are 3-year-olds, but they still are. They're sprinters. Drain the Clock. Jackie's Warrior. They should have shown it. Ever since Jackie's been cut back from the Southwest. Ran really too good to lose. Ran a better race, frankly, and the Woody Stevens just got beat by an unbelievable effort. That was one of those where we obviously had Jackie, and you're like, well, what can you do? Drain the Clock ran awesome, and really, it's just a matter, can he repeat that effort? We know. I mean, I feel like Jackie can, because when Jackie's been sprinting, it's been forget it. And frankly, drain the clock when he's been sprinting. I mean, let's not forget this horse finished second in the Fountain of Youth. This horse could have ran in the Kentucky Derby, and obviously didn't. But this is a horse that is very talented and just overall talented. I kind of went into my final decision was like, listen, Saffie's not going to win a bunch of races. He never wins a bunch of races at Saratoga, right? He's going to win with Mischievous Alex on Saturday. He's not winning here. I'm picking Jackie's Warrior.
Yeah, that's going to be a good race. This
is a hell of a race. I mean, okay, so real quickly before we end rapid fire, like what out of all these sprinters that we're going to see this weekend, Saturday and Sunday across the country, I mean, do you think that Jackie and or Drain the Clock, 2-3-year-olds, can they compete with these horses?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think they're just as good. Now, a lot of people make the big deal about that jumping up to face, Olders, but I just think by the time the Breeders' Cup gets here, it's not that big a deal. If Drain the Clock beats Jackie's Warrior again, I definitely think Drain the Clock is all of a sudden the one, and we can forget about Jackie's Warrior, because that it'd be 2 times in a row, and then it'll be Drain the Clock as the big, hey, this horse can beat the Olders. But I think both of them are in a position to do it. And the great thing about it, like you said, you're gonna see all the Olders run Saturday, and you're gonna see these 2 run Sunday, and I think we'll have a pretty clear picture of how they stack up after that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely feels like you're going to get a pretty good idea of who's legit and who's not, out of these next couple days, And Joshua says, "How's the early pace look?" Really, you look at this race, and there is some pace on the front end there, but nothing that compares to Drain the Clock and Jackie's Warrior. They stand out on a numbers perspective, both time form and the buyer department. To me, you got to know Jackie's going to go. And it's just like a lot of like with Drain the Clock, and IRAD is like have to make a choice, right? Like, how close do I want to sit, and do I want to, because he had time, the 7 furlongs, that extra half a furlong made the difference, right? In the Woody Stevens, he's gonna have to be a little bit more closer to this race because he may not be able to get to him if he doesn't. So this will be interesting how this race plays out. But you and I are both on the 3-horse Jackie's Warrior.
Yeah, still raining. This comment, where did that go? Yeah, I don't look for turf tomorrow for sure. At Saratoga, it's poured. It's poured already. Jason says still raining, so doesn't look good. Hopefully Saturday be okay.
Well, as long as it's not raining a week from right now.
That's right. Thank God we aren't there right now.
Oh, geez, some shit, man.
Well,
by the way, if you're going to be there, I'll save it. Save it for this one. All right, 3, 2, 1. So all the time we have is our racingdudes.com for free picks on our premium selection on our products page. Click the Get Racing Dudes premium button at racingdudes.com to learn more about our premium products. And of course, that Whitney Stakes wagering guide that you're going to want to get your hands on for next week. And speaking of the Whitney Stakes, your boys, myself, Halterman, a bunch of us actually will be there. Ricky, I think Ricky's going to be there. We'll all be at Saratoga for the Whitney, and you want to hit us up. One thing about us at Saratoga is we will be drinking the whole time, and we will be having a good time, and hopefully we cash in some tickets. So hit us up if you're going to be at Saratoga, and we can hang out, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, listen, it's going to be a lot of fun. Ricky will be there. Paul and Monique will be there. Of course, we will be there. Casey Buck is coming down. The legend Casey Buck will be there. He said, is Jared going? I said, yeah, he's going. He goes, I got to come down. So he's excited. Yeah. If you don't see us at the track, hit us up out downtown. We'll be all over. It's a lot of fun. Come hang out with us. We hung out with, a lot of new people last time. I don't even remember all their names, but they were a lot of good guys down there last time. So, I can't wait. 1 week from today, we will be in Saratoga.
I have to say, this is, I've obviously went back to the Breeders' Cup. Of course, the Derby is the Derby. Went back for that. Of course, the Belmont. But Saratoga, man. Like this feels extra special to kind of be going. Like when you talk about coming back to the track, this is the track, right? This is the track that you think about when you say, I want to be back at the live racing. It's Saratoga, and I cannot wait to be there. So you broke it in a little bit for me last 2 weeks ago, I guess. Yeah. Hopefully we can handle it when we get there. So hit us up if you guys are going to be around. Remember, racedudes.com is your destination site for all free horse racing picks and information. Go to racedudes.com to learn more. We're on Twitter at RaceHorseDudes, Instagram and Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even the website at racingdudes.com. Go check out the Magic Mike Show. What did the Magic Mike Show do? Have you seen? They did the Saratoga Late Pick 4. So they go check out the Magic Mike Show. If you want a little more information for what we talked about on Saturday, see what they're going with, make sure you go check them out on all those same channels as well. Any final thoughts, Mr. Halterman, before we close this puppy up?
Yeah, I feel like I gave a lot on the show. I don't have any thoughts left. I think the Rock Emperor kind of just rally cry, battle cry, however you want to call it, probably took it all out of me.
I'm gonna have to use that for the opening to try to really bring this one home.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it, Rocket. Listen, Chad needs me. Chad needs me to be in that barn and get eye to eye with that horse and tell him, you can do it. You're better than these horses. You gotta believe. You gotta believe in yourself. And I think you'll get the job done.
Hey, speaking of Chad Brown, where the hell is Highly Motivated?
Well, let's see if he's had to work. That's a very good question. I thought about that because I thought they were going to do like the Amsterdam route.
He worked the 23rd. He came back and made it work on June 6th, and then he didn't work again until July 16th, and then he made another work. So he's back on track. Yeah. 2 works in a row. But you got to think they're going to go with, like one turn, maybe dirt mile. I think maybe that makes a lot of sense.
I would look for him Belmont meet probably. I don't think he's going to run up here. I don't know. They may get him in the Jerkins would be a really tough race, but he could be ready by then. I wouldn't want to start him back there. Maybe they find some kind of allowance for him. But yeah, you're looking late Saratoga, early Belmont meet at the earliest, I would think, for Highly Motivated.
When you think about him, how whatever you want to say about him in the Derby, but he's a horse that damn near beat St. Louis Derby for Highly Motivated.
He would fit. St. Louis Derby's on Traverse Day, so
bring him there. He's a horse about beat is such a quality shit, man. I thought he did, so I thought he was going to. So
surely he can go win the St. Louis Derby.
Surely, right? Why not? You can do it if you the St. Louis Derby prep into the Breeders' Cup. It works every time, right? So.
Worked for Lawyer Ron.
All right, guys. Again, make sure to check us out this weekend for all your picks and information. And look out for that Whitney guide, and we'll be at the track. So hit us up at Saratoga next week. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Good luck this weekend. See you guys.